Welcome to episode 7 of The Conversation. I'm your host, Cyber Chris. Today I'm going to go a bit off script. Generally, I write some notes and prepare what I'm going to say on this, but I'm going to just have a conversation and discuss something called imposter syndrome. We all have that imposter syndrome at some point in his careers or in his lives, in his hobbies. It's that little friend what sits on his shoulder what says, really, you shouldn't be here, and or you're a fake, or you're going to get caught out and stuff like that. We see it quite a lot in the cybersecurity community and in the profession because of numerous factors. For example, the God complex expectation is we're expected to know everything. We're expected to be the gatekeepers. If a breach happens, it's on us. That's a lot of pressure to be perfect, right? That's a lot of pressure to be perfect in a field where perfection is literally impossible. We've also got the infinite scope. You learn Python, great. Now you're expected to learn Rust. You mastered cloud security, cool. But here's quantum cryptography. You can't beat the game of learning here. The map is constantly expanding. The other one is the invisible enemy, right? Our opponents are often brilliant. The faceless entities. It's hard to feel competent when you're defending against an adversary that only has to be right once, while we're here having to be right every single time. In the IT industry, and in the cybersecurity industry and many industries, there's something I like to call Google guilt. So let's address a bit of the elephant in the room around this, right? How many, I've spoke to many senior pen testers, senior security analysts, CISOs, CROs, you name it. And they've been in it 15, 20 years, and they still feel like frauds because they've got to look up like an Nmap flag. But here's the truth, right? Being a professional in cybersecurity isn't about memorizing syntax. It's about adversarial thinking, right? If you know what to search for and how to apply the answer, you aren't a fraud. You're an engineer, you're a CISO, you're a CRO, whatever profession you are in the industry. The tool doesn't matter. It's the logic what does. So how do we fight back against imposter syndrome? So I'll give some tips on what I've used in the past. Keep a win log. Start a private little document every time you fix a bug, pass a certification, or explain a concept to a co-worker, or you've done a guest speak on a topic or anything, what's a win. Write it down. When the I'm a failure thought sort of hits, read them receipts. Normalize I don't know, right? The most senior person in the room is usually one of the most comfortable in saying, I don't know, let me look into that. Leave it with me. Make that part of your vocabulary, right? It's a power move, it's not a weakness. The main one, and this is, I used to do this on a regular basis, and it hindered me really. I was comparing myself, and we're all individuals. We all learn at different rates. We all learn in different ways. Some people are more hands-on, as people are more book-based. Some people are more GRC over security, AppSec, pen testers, whatever profession you are. Stop comparing yourself. Instead of comparing, collaborate. Learn from the people who are having the wins. Understand why are the wins. You're seeing somebody at 2 o'clock in the morning struggle, but then you're also seeing somebody, who's polished and created a beautiful LinkedIn post. Which one are you going to look at? You know what I mean? Is a lot of people think, oh, if you're the one struggling at 2 o'clock in the morning on an issue, and you're seeing somebody on LinkedIn posting one of the wins, you start to compare yourself. Why am I stuck on this issue? Instead, collaborate. The one thing if you are feeling like an imposter, it means that you care about your profession and your craft. True frauds don't worry about whether they're good enough or not. They just coast. And I've seen so many people do this, and it's a shame. I've seen so many engineers just coast, and the rest of the team gets affected. They're the true frauds, not you. The fact that you're worried proves you're exactly where you need to be. Cybersecurity isn't about knowing everything. No, I'll never know everything. You'll never know everything. But it's about being the person who stays curious enough to find out. If you've got a home lab, and you work, you're learning Linux, or you're learning NA10, or for automation, you're learning, messing around with Llama or Wazo or anything. And if you're staying curious by doing that, or you're looking at some training material, speaking to people and staying curious, you're exactly where you need to be. It's when you stop doing that, that's when you question why. So, thanks for tuning in. Stay secure, stay curious, and come on, guys, give yourself a break. I'm Cyber Chris, and have a great evening.